When I think about Ben's and this tradition, I think of family, love. I feel like all my friends who grew up on Long Island or New Jersey or, now Florida, they just associate Ben's with like, oh, my grandmother took me there and I had matzo ball soup. It's just nice to see that it's a multi-generational thing.
Jewish style delis brings back these memories of sitting at the table with my parents and like the pickles and the coleslaw that are on the table. And so all those good memories come back flooding.
When I started in this business, my father owned a small kosher delicatessen restaurant on the west side of Manhattan. There, I went after school and I learned to slice meat. I learned about meat. I learned about customers. It was a great school for my entry into this business.
It really is a family business. My mom met my dad through Ben's. She was a server, so she found my dad that way. And then my Aunt Betty, who was my grandmother's sister, worked at Ben's. My dad's brother, my Uncle Scott, worked at Ben's for years. My whole family worked at Ben's.
I was a 24-year-old, graduating college and a tour as a Vista volunteer, which was a domestic Peace Corps. And I went into and took over a bankrupt deli in Baldwin, Long Island.
I essentially grew up in the deli. One of my first memories, actually, of being in the store was watching one of the countermen make a turkey on the swing door that led you into the behind the counter. Another memory is the holidays. Ben's does a lot of catering for Passover and Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur. So I would come in and help sometimes pack these orders, and I was just floored by how many boxes, these giant catering boxes that I would see just lined up on a wall.
I always felt that the recognition that I thought Ben's deserved was never going to be without an operation in Midtown Manhattan. This location was a continuously operating kosher delicatessen restaurant since 1917. The name was Lou G. Siegel. It was known as the place to meet, eat, and greet other Jews. Celebrities came here, all the Jewish comics. And so in 1995, the landlord approached me and said, "We don't have someone to continue the tradition. Would you be interested?" I said, "Let me visit the site. Let me see what it looks like." And I said, yes. I elevated the status of the delicatessen from the corner store with 4 mica tables, 4 mica walls, and I've changed it.
I've been coming here for about 4 or 5 years. The food is amazing. That's why I keep coming.
Some of my favorite things at Ben's are generally favorites of most customers. The first thing most people say is matzo ball soup. It's comforting.
I tell people there's 2 items on the menu that I would love for you to eat. If you like a little spice, then pastrami is for you. If you like a little less spice, fresh brisket, that would be interesting to you. And of course, I always tell them, you've got to have the freshly cut French fries, and they love it. They really do.
The sandwiches exceeded my expectation. Fantastic.
Best coleslaw ever.
We cleaned our plates.
We cleaned our plates.
What makes food special at Ben's is that everything is daily made. Everything is fresh.
The taste is just fantastic. Like, when you have good pastrami, and they have good pastrami here.
When I began in business, I would say that 95% of the customers were Jewish. And I always strove to get a wider audience. I know the future, every generation removed from the immigrant experience will not be as loyal to the kosher delicatessen restaurant. So I knew I had to reach out to a broader audience. As a result, I advertised and marketed in different areas to bring in that broader audience. I say today, I probably have a split of 60-40. 60 Jewish, 40% non-Jewish. And that's the goal, and I think I've achieved most of it. And if I didn't, I still wouldn't be in business.
A lot of people from El Salvador, they like the kosher food. They come here and they enjoy it. My family, they love to come here.
My favorite thing on the menu is pastrami. It's #1 here.
My favorite things to eat over here, pastrami sandwich brisket of beef, onion rings, and the plain wings.
We've been here for 50 years, and I wanted to continue. The customers at Ben's range from one of the first generation that started patronizing Ben's to young families who are the grandchildren of those people. So we're keeping Ben's alive and this food alive.
Hot dogs mit Knisches! Hot dogs mit Knisches! Es kostet billig, ist es gibt, und es macht